On this episode of Super Samurai Market, we're introducing a very spectacular blade signed by the famous Osaka Shinto smith Inoue Shinkai. And the blade displays a nakago, which we'll get to, displays a kikumon, and it's dated also. August 1673, the 13th year of Kambun. So this is a Kambun Shinto blade. Now, what you're seeing in the video is basically a gentle notare hamon. Right now you're looking at thick nie, and there are ashi, tsunagashi, and then there's a very long kintsugi. If you were following along, you should have noticed it. And that is quite spectacular. And here's the nakago. You can see there's the kikumon, well cut, and the date. And then the nakago itself is ubu. It's osujikai file pattern with a kurijiri bottom to it. And then we're following the blade again. You can see the gentle notare. And here's the portion of the thick nie. If you look closely, you'll see the ashi and tsunagashi and the long kintsugi, which really sets this blade apart and makes it very spectacular to look at. Very attractive overall. And here's the signature Inoue Shinkai. And if you're a fan of Inoue Shinkai blades, you'll know that there's often discussion about if there's 100 Inoue Shinkai blades on a table, 98 of them will be fake. So there's a very high number of Gime blades attributed to Inoue Shinkai because that was a period, in the Shinto period, when there were many smiths forging swords, and it was popular to make a presentation to daimyo and superiors with a blade made by a famous smith. And of course, at that time, Inoue Shinkai was one of these very famous smiths. You can see the habaki here, and the habaki is actually a copper base with a silver foil. It's a two-part, like a outer collar over top of the sleeve in the silver foil. Again, we're looking at the blade itself, and you can see, again, the features that we'd already discussed, which make this a very spectacular piece to view. So, the length of the blade is 51.3 centimeters or 20.2 inches, and the curvature is 1.4 centimeters or 0.6 of an inch. The motohaba is 3.2 centimeters, so it's got a good depth. That's 1.3 inches. Sakihaba is 2.4 centimeters or 0.9 of an inch. And the mune kasane is 0.7 centimeters or 0.3 of an inch. This blade is complete with MBTHK certification at the Tokubetsu Hozon level. Now, talking about this sword, we've already established it was forged by Inoue Shinkai. Shinkai's birth is recorded as 1631, and he was a second son of Izumi no Kami Kunisada, first generation Kunisada, who's also known as Oya Kunisada. So, when Inoue Shinkai was around 21 years old, he was actually forging swords under his father's signature, which means that he had already developed a high level of prowess in forging blades. Then, in 1652, his father actually passed away, and it was around that time that Shinkai took the title of Izumi no Kami. And it was in 1672 that he changed his own signature to Shinkai from what he was using previously, which was Kunisada. And his lifespan wasn't that long. He passed away in 1682, so he was in his early 50s. But during that period, he reached the top rank, and we recognize his rank as Saijo Saku, and also his blades as Owazamono. So this is the same level as the famous Skeihiro. So these two smiths reached a very high level of proficiency, and we recognize them as, very strong proponents of Osaka Shinto blades. This sword was forged in 1673 when Shinkai would have been around 43, which also indicates that, that was probably at his peak period of his artistic ability. And it's recognized in the book Token Kante no Kimite, written by Shibata Kazuo. All in all, this is an exceptional sword, and it's a pleasure to view. Quite spectacular piece.